This is how leaders bend the minds of followers without saying a word. Machiavelli called it virtue, the force of character, the aura of destiny. He believed a man could carve his own fortune not by chance, but by willpower sharpened like a blade. And that blade, it cuts away every excuse, every hesitation, every weakness you once carried. Here's your challenge. The next time you walk through a door, walk as though it's opening for you, not because of ego, but because people treat you the way you treat yourself. Dangerous confidence is not loud. It does not beg to be seen. It does not fight for attention. It simply exists, and the world cannot look away. And remember this, the weak man's greatest prison is predictability. Everyone knows how he'll react. Everyone knows how to control him. But the dangerous man, he is unreadable. He moves in silence, speaks with precision, and acts with intention. Machiavelli said it best, never show the whole of your mind. Keep people guessing. Keep them wondering what you truly want, because mystery is power. And here's the truth. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's a refusal to let fear leak into your actions. Everyone feels fear. But when you master your expression, when you silence your nervous tells, when you move with calm certainty, you become something terrifying. You become the man who cannot be shaken. Power is not given. It is taken. And confidence is the weapon that takes it. Think carefully about this. People do not follow the truth. They follow certainty. The man who hesitates, even if he speaks truth, will be ignored. But the man who speaks with unshakable conviction, even if he lies, will be believed. That is the brutal reality Machiavelli wanted you to see. So ask yourself, have you been punished for being too careful? Have you lost opportunities because you thought too long before acting? The world does not wait for the timid. It crowns the decisive. Dangerous confidence is forged in decisive action, not the endless planning, not the daydreaming, not the waiting for the right moment. The right moment does not exist. It is created when you move. Psychologists call it the illusion of competence. When you act first, people assume you know something they don't. They project certainty onto you. And suddenly, you're leading, even if you started with doubt. But here's the paradox. The more you act, the more you become confident. Action breeds confidence, and confidence breeds more action. This is a cycle of power. The weak man waits for confidence to come. The dangerous man moves first, and confidence chases him like a shadow. Machiavelli understood this when he wrote The Prince. He said it is better to act boldly and fail than to remain still and safe. Because even in failure, boldness commands respect. Timidity commands nothing but pity. Think of the rulers, the conquerors, the thinkers who reshaped the world. Caesar, Napoleon, Alexander, they all shared one trait. They acted when others froze. They decided when others doubted. They risked when others begged for safety. That is why their names echo through history. So how do you apply this? Stop asking, what if I fail? Instead ask, what if hesitation cost me everything? Because it already has. Every time you held back, you lost ground you didn't even see. Ground that someone bolder than you took without apology. Here's the psychological truth. People respect certainty more than accuracy. They would rather follow a confident fool than a hesitant genius. And once you understand this, you see why hesitation is the deadliest poison. Dangerous confidence doesn't mean you will always win. It means you never look like you've lost. It means even in defeat, you stand straight, unbroken, unashamed. Because the moment you collapse into shame, the world smells weakness, and it devours you. Machiavelli's brutal wisdom. Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see, but few can touch. Translation? People believe what they see. And if they see confidence, they see power, even if you are still building it within. So build a mask. Wear it until it fuses with your skin. Because a dangerous man is not born. He is sculpted brick by brick, decision by decision, mask by mask. Until one day, he looks into the mirror and realizes it is no longer a mask. It is who he truly is. The time has come to bury the weak version of you once and for all, not with pity, not with ceremony, but with fire. That obedient, hesitant, apologetic self was a ghost, a shadow designed by society to keep you small, tame, predictable. But Machiavelli would laugh at that illusion. He knew the truth. Only those who embrace power truly live. So ask yourself now, who do you choose to be? The weak man begs for permission. The dangerous man takes space without asking. The weak man explains himself endlessly. The dangerous man lets silence speak louder than words. The weak man lowers his gaze to avoid conflict. The dangerous man holds it until the other looks away. These are not small gestures. They are signals. Signals that tell the world, I cannot be moved. Psychology confirms it. Confidence is contagious. When you carry yourself with authority, people unconsciously recalibrate around you. They give way. They adjust. They follow. This is why the dangerous man is untouchable. Because he doesn't just control himself. He controls the room. And yet, the most important rule of all, never waste this power on trivial battles. Machiavelli warned, a prince who fights every war burns out his strength. The truly confident man chooses his battles carefully. He lets small insults slide. He ignores empty provocations. Why? Because he knows his energy is too valuable to be wasted. That's the final stage of dangerous confidence. Not aggression, not arrogance, but mastery. The mastery to know when to strike and when to let others destroy themselves with their own weakness. So here's the truth you must carry with you. Confidence is not given. It is taken, built, sharpened. Every time you silence fear, every time you stand tall, every time you move with calm precision, you are chiseling away the weak stone of your old self, revealing the unshakable figure beneath. And one day, you will wake up and realize you are no longer pretending. You are no longer rehearsing. You are the dangerous man, unreadable, untouchable, unshakable. Machiavelli's voice echoes through the centuries, not as advice, but as a challenge. Do you want to be loved or do you want to be feared? You don't have to answer with words. Answer with the way you carry yourself from this day forward. Because the most dangerous man is not the loudest, not the strongest, not the richest. He is the one who cannot be shaken. And now you are him. What if I told you that the version of yourself you've been living with all these years, the polite, obedient, eager to please version, is nothing more than a carefully constructed prison? What if your weakness is not natural but engineered? And what if you could kill that weak version and be reborn as someone dangerous, unreadable, untouchable? You feel it, don't you? That small fire inside, whispering that you are meant to be more than what the world has told you to be. But every time you listen to it, a louder voice enters, the voice of society, of conditioning, of fear, and it says, stay in line, don't push too far, be agreeable, be good. This is how most people are broken, not by force, but by subtle obedience, by being taught that survival means silence, that acceptance means submission. And so you shrink, not because you lack power, but because you've been taught to fear it. Niccolò Machiavelli once wrote, it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. And most people recoil from that idea, because it confronts a mask they've been wearing their whole lives. But Machiavelli wasn't telling you to be cruel. He was telling you to be unshakable, to be someone who no longer bends to the fragile illusions of other people's approval. Ask yourself, how much of your life has been dictated by the fear of how others see you? How many times have you swallowed your own truth just to keep peace, just to avoid conflict, just to look like the good person? And yet, has being good ever made you powerful? Did it protect you? Did it earn you respect? No. What it earned you was invisibility. And invisibility is weakness. Psychology has a name for this, the obedience reflex. The human brain, conditioned from childhood, learns that survival means compliance. From parents to teachers to bosses, the pattern is drilled into you. Obey and you will be safe. Resist and you will be punished. But here's the Machiavellian twist. What keeps you safe also keeps you small. That instinct that tells you to bow your head, to smile politely, to not make waves. That is the very instinct that strangles your confidence before it can even breathe. And here's the paradox. Confidence is not born from being liked. Confidence is born from being willing to be disliked. Think about it. The most magnetic, powerful people you've ever met. Did they crave approval? Or did they radiate something beyond approval? Something untouchable? Confidence, real confidence, is dangerous because it threatens the entire social contract. It says, I don't need your permission to exist. And that terrifies people. This is why Machiavelli taught rulers not to chase love, but to cultivate presence, authority, respect. Because love is fickle, but strength endures. People admire those who do not bend, those who refuse to shrink, those who dare to stand alone. But here's the question you must wrestle with. Can you kill the obedient version of yourself? Can you strip away the soft armor of pleasing others and expose the raw iron beneath? Modern psychology shows us that obedience is a survival strategy, but survival is not the same as power. A child survives by obedience. An adult thrives by mastery. Machiavelli would look at your life and ask, are you the ruler of your inner kingdom or just another subject? Do you command your own mind, or have you handed it over to others like a dog on a leash? And perhaps more chillingly, who benefits from your obedience? Because someone always does. Every time you shrink, someone else grows taller. Every time you silence yourself, someone else speaks louder. Every time you surrender your will, someone else uses it for their advantage. Dangerous confidence begins with reclaiming that stolen will. It begins with understanding that you were not born to obey. You were conditioned to. And what is conditioned can be broken. So let me ask you, what would happen if tomorrow you woke up and decided to no longer seek approval? What would happen if you looked in a mirror and said, I am done performing weakness for the comfort of others? Would you lose some friends? Perhaps. Would people misunderstand you? Definitely. Would some call you arrogant, dangerous, cold? Of course. But let me tell you the Machiavellian secret. All of those accusations are nothing more than proof that your confidence is real, because the weak will always call the strong dangerous. The fragile will always call the unshakable arrogant, and those who rely on your obedience will always resent your freedom. Here is where psychology and philosophy meet. Studies in human behavior show that people instinctively respect those who project authority, even if that authority is not yet proven. The mind reads confidence as truth, and so, if you act unshakable, you become unshakable. Machiavelli understood this long before neuroscience ever confirmed it. He knew that power is a performance, that rulers survive not by begging for loyalty, but by embodying strength until it cannot be questioned. So what does this mean for you? It means confidence is not a feeling. It is a stance. It is not a mood that visits you on good days. It is a decision sharpened daily like a blade. Confidence is dangerous because it is untethered. It is not given by others, so it cannot be taken away. And the moment you realize this, you become unreadable. You become untouchable. You are no longer the weak, obedient self who waits for permission. You are the dangerous self who writes the rules. But remember, dangerous does not mean cruel. It does not mean reckless. It means sovereign. It means you no longer live on borrowed validation. You no longer wait for the world to crown you. You were the crown yourself. So let me ask you again, who are you when you are no longer afraid of disapproval? What power do you hold when you finally stop apologizing for existing? What happens when the weak self dies and the dangerous self is born? The answer, my friend, is the kind of confidence that makes you a force of nature, a confidence that bends reality, a confidence that Machiavelli himself would recognize as the mark of true power. And it begins the moment you decide that obedience is over. You have to understand something about human beings. We are predators wrapped in manners. Behind the handshakes, the smiles, and the polite conversations, there is calculation, judgment, and hidden power games. And the one who understands this controls the game. Machiavelli never told you to be cruel for the sake of cruelty. He told you to master the art of perception. Because power isn't just what you have. It's what others think you have. Confidence is a performance. But here's the secret. Perform it long enough and it becomes real. The weak version of yourself waits for approval. The dangerous version, he creates approval. He knows that every room is a stage and everyone in it is an audience. Think about it. How many times have you lowered your voice so you wouldn't seem too much? How many times have you apologized for things that didn't even need an apology? That version of you dies here. From this moment, you walk into every room as if the world already belongs to you, not desperate for validation, but radiating the calm indifference of someone who knows he cannot be ignored. That's what shakes people. Not aggression, not arrogance, but calm dominance. Psychology proves it. Mirror neurons in the brain make people reflect your state. If you are nervous, others sense it instantly. If you are steady, unshakable, unreadable, they collapse into your rhythm.